Life Love Lessons for Women of Faith. So you are a woman of faith. You have overcome over and over again. You have testimonies of passing many tests and victory stories of victorious winnings. Then, why are you hypertensive, high-strung, distressed, depressed, anxious, angry, living life but not loving life? Hi, I'm Teacher Hazel. Teaching is my ministry, my career, my life's work. I too am a woman of faith. I have been through the fire, I have been through the flood. Now, my heart's desire is the love dance of God. I am inviting you to listen to Life Love Lessons and talk to me about your learnings from my teachings. Join me on Thursdays at 10 p.m. on my YouTube channel, Abundant Life Mastery at the Call. And let's talk about life love lessons as women of faith. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Life Love Lessons for Women of Faith. And yes, we have reached lesson 8, the final lesson in series 1. So as usual, it's my pleasure and privilege to welcome each and every one of you to Life Love Lessons for Women of Faith. Those of you who are logged on live and those who will log on for the recording. Of course, as usual, welcome to the first timers. But please, if this is your first time, make sure to listen to the lessons that went before. They are available on this same channel. So welcome. Let us pray. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God sustains us. Wherever we are, God is. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. I thank God for you, and I thank you all, each and every one of you, for being here with me tonight. I am Reverend Dr. Teacher Hazel and Gibbs DePeza, better known as Teacher Hazel. I'm a teacher by profession, I'm a teacher by calling. Teaching is my ministry. I'm also a transformational life coach and a life mastery consultant. I do Loving Your Life self-development workshops and seminars, as well as group and individual coaching and consultations. I am a mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother, blessed with 10 stars in my life. They light up my life. I am happy and grateful. I love my life. I love my Lord. Life Love Lesson is intended to encourage you to love your life more and more. And what is my intention? My main intention is to encourage you, women of faith, to answer the call to your God-given purpose, to access the more abundant life Christ promised you, and to empower you to live a life you love. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. So before we begin lesson 8, let me acknowledge the help and support of my brother, my son, my friend, Kristen Dalrymple, CEO of Spiritual Baptist Radio, who has been with me from the first lesson to this, the 8th lesson of Series 1 of Life Love Lessons. I expressed my misgivings in dealing with the technology on my own, because before, every time I would have persons who were helping me, but none of them were available this time. And he readily offered to stand by me and manage the technology for me. Thank you so much. Including preparing the link every week for me to share and changing the slides. I thank you, my brother. God bless you, and God bless your endeavors. So tonight, for lesson 8 of Life Love Lessons for Women of Faith, we are going to plait the threads together into a lovely belt, which we shall wear during the break until Series 2 begins. So, our affirmations: let us affirm our being. Who am I? I am a spiritual being currently sojourning in physical form, having a human experience. I hope you said it with me. Let's do it again. I am a spiritual being currently sojourning in physical form, having a human experience. And let us repeat our affirmation. I am me. I love the me that I am. Yes, I am. And you know the power of that. I am me, this wonderful creation of God. I love the me that I am, because God never makes a mistake. He does everything right. So, let us, as women of faith, choose some options to create lives we love living. So we're going with 7 options tonight that we're going to be working with over the next few weeks when we have no program on. So option 1, walk by faith and not by sight. Sight is physical, human, limited, and based on external circumstances. We look not at the things which are seen, for the things which are seen are temporal. So that's not where we're looking, right? Remember, faith is finding answers in the heart. The heart is the source of love. It is where the kingdom of God is established. With the heart, man believeth unto righteousness. And so we look at the things which are not seen. For the things which are not seen are eternal. So that's our first step on this journey, that we are walking by faith and not by sight, because we know that there is much more power, much more positivity, much more love, much more peace in the eternal rather than in the physical. Okay? So we look at the things which are not seen, for the things which are not seen are eternal. Option 2. We're looking now at the results formula. Okay, so let us consider the formula that creates our results. In other words, what we end up with. What your life is today is the result of the thoughts, feelings, and actions of before. Because your results are caused by your actions. Okay, so if you want to win the Olympic gold medal, that's the result you're looking for. The actions would be that you have to participate, and in order to participate, you have to prepare. Okay, And your actions are caused by your feelings. So obviously, you were feeling all excited about being able to compete and hoping to win. So those feelings caused your actions, your preparation, and your entry. And the feelings are caused by your thoughts, because you would have perhaps seen the other people doing the Olympics. You know, sometimes we see somebody up at the top and we say, but when I was in school, I used to beat he all the time. And nah, if he could do that, I could do it too. Right? And those thoughts could propel us to get going. Right? So the thoughts cause the feelings cause the actions cause the results. So to change your results, you have to change your thoughts, change your focus, right? And we must not downplay the power of thought. Let us assume that you left home and you didn't remember if you unplugged the iron that you were ironing your clothes with. Just the thought gets you anxious. No, you're not sure, but the thought brings on the feelings of anxiety. What if I didn't pull it out? What if the thing spark and a fire begins? Or what if the thing burns something? And so the feelings of anxiety. And those feelings will lead you into action. Either you will call somebody home if there's anybody else at home, or you may look to go back home to make sure, because the result you're looking for is that you do not want the place to burn, right? So your thoughts cause your feelings cause your actions, and your actions cause your results. And that's why we say your thoughts cause your results, and your results never lie. Whatever results you have, they are based on the thoughts you have been having. Okay? So that's the results formula. And if you pay attention to that, you will mind your thoughts. So let's move on to number 3. Change your thoughts and you change your life. You see, since your thoughts cause your results, and you can change your results by changing your thoughts, then it follows. If you change your thoughts, you change your life. Keep your thoughts on the higher frequencies of vibration. Remember, all of life is energy, and your thoughts are energy, and energy vibrates. Therefore, your thoughts give off vibrations, and remember again, like vibrations attract like vibrations. Therefore, if you keep your thoughts on the higher frequencies of vibration, then you will lift the level of your life. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Thoughts. And notice, thinketh in his heart. Deep thoughts, real thoughts, not just surface thoughts. The thoughts that we keep pondering over and over. That's what makes the difference. And remember, your energy goes where your focus goes. So you have the opportunity to lift the frequency of your thoughts and of your life. And we know, because we know the vibrational scale, that the lower end are all the heavier things, but the lighter, more beautiful things, the love and the joy and the peace, are all up at the top. gratitude, love, joy, peace. That's the higher vibration. Okay? So that's number 3. Number 4, the David weapon. Now remember, we said we are pulling the threads together and plaiting a belt with all of the strands so we can use them to build a life that we love and enjoy. So, what is this David weapon? The word of God says, Then David said to the Philistine, You come to me with a sword, with a spear, and with a javelin. But I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel. So, what is David's weapon? The name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel. So, David wasn't concerned about the size of this giant before him. He wasn't concerned about all the armor that he had. So here was this little shepherd boy who knew his God, who lived by faith, not by sight. Because if he had paid attention to what he was seeing in front of him, he would have done like the other soldiers and cower in a corner. They were operating by sight. They saw this giant and, whew! But David was living by faith. He knew the God he served, and he had faith in him. And therefore, he was depending on the things that are not seen, the things that are eternal, the almighty power of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel. All right? So, David weapon. Yes. And now, number 5. Listen. What do we do with this one? We want to listen. Listen to what? Listen to your intuition. Remember, intuition is only as loud as our willingness to listen. Intuition is the whisper of your soul. That small, still voice. The guidance from God. And you know, as women of faith, we've come a long way, uphill, down dale, through the valley of shadows. And sometimes we get so caught up in what is seen. And we get so caught up in the noise that 1, we forget about what is not seen. And 2, we don't hear the still small voice. We forget about our intuition, that connection to infinite wisdom. Be still and know that I am God. Listen. Spend some time listening. And you know, someone says, prayer is man talking to God. Intuition is God talking to man. So remember, when you pray, you also have to listen. Don't do all the talking. All right? And so we move on to number 6. And number 6 says, dare to dream. And I dare you to dream. Because the dreams you dare to dream really do come true. Again, we get so caught up in the activities around us that sometimes we forget. We forget our dreams that we had, and we forget to dream. But remember, everything is created twice. So if you don't think about it, if you don't use your imagination, if you don't perceive it, if you don't listen for the intuition, if you don't create it in the spiritual realm, you cannot manifest it in the physical realm. If there's no dream, there's no dream to build. So dare to dream. Because if you don't have a dream, then where are you going? Where are you heading? Any evil thing will do? No. Dare to dream. And we would have gone through that in one of the earlier sessions. Remember when you were small, when you would dream up all kinds of things? Don't stop doing that. I know that they tell us we daydreaming and we're wasting time, but don't bother with them. Now you have the choice. Dare to dream, because everything is created twice. First in the dream world, and then in the physical world. Nothing that has manifested in the physical has manifested without first being in somebody's dream. So dare to dream. Okay? Number 7, love. Yes, love. All we need is love. You know that song? All we need is love, yeah. Love is all we need. Love is all we need. Yes, love God. Love you. Love your neighbor. Love your friends. Love your enemies. Love strangers. Just love. Greatest commandment. First commandment. Everything hangs on love. All the laws and the prophets hang on love. Love changes things. Love is the answer to everything. And bear in mind that God is love. All we need is love. All we need is God. So, love. And we're looking at these 7 aspects that we want to practice. That's the way we want to walk. We want to walk by faith. We want to listen. We want to love. Right? We want to dream. Because we know that how we think directly affects how we live. Yes? And we learned some other things along the way. That you have a God mind. Do you remember that? That we have super senses. Gifts that God has given us for us to be in contact with Him. We know the value of intuition. Okay? All of these are things that we know. We also know that we've been set free. The chains were broken. The Lion of Judah broke every chain. Let us enjoy the freedom that we have. Let us not remain in prison when we have been set free. And our thoughts create our world. Remember that. We choose our life story. So now we have ammunition, we have tools, we have guidelines for us to create the world that we love, to create the life that we love and enjoy. You see, awareness is important. If you're not aware of certain things, then you can't get the benefit of them. But now that you know that you have super senses, you know that there are universal laws which you can follow. You know that like vibration attracts like vibration. Not as they've been telling us, opposites attract. No, they don't. That's part of the polarity affair, but opposites don't attract. Like attracts like. So if you give love, you receive love. You know, they would people tell you what goes around comes around, and they know what they're saying, eh? And a lot of the things that they say. hmm If you give love, you receive love. You may not receive it from the person you give it to, but you're going to receive it. That's the law. That's a universal law. And the laws do not falter. And the laws do not pick and choose who they work for. The laws work for everybody. You follow the law, you understand it, and you reap the benefit of it. And so, as women of faith, we've come a long way. We've gone through some sessions. We've become aware of certain things. One of the things we spoke about is thinking about your thoughts. Yes? And I'm sure you remember the others. And as we are on this final lesson of this session, I want to remind you the lessons are there. Revise them, go back, look over them. Learn, practice. Don't just say, well, okay, I know that, I hear that, and leave it there. So, as we go into questions and comments, and I really want you to comment and to ask questions because we've covered quite a bit of ground. Of course, there is more depth to all of that we've done, but then those would have to be done in, like workshops and seminars where we have hours on end before us, right? To get into the depths. So this is just a taste of what there is, because when you know what there is, then you know what to do. All right? So let's hear your questions and your comments. Good night, my love. Good night. Nice to have you. Nice to have you. Good night, dear heart. Yes. Good night. Good night. It's lovely to have all of you here with me. And I hope that you are enjoying and learning. So tell me some of the things that you've learned or some of the things that you're not too sure about. Right? Let's interact. Understanding the nature of thought, the value and the power of thought. Remember Paul in Philippians? Whatsoever things are lovely, just, good, virtue, think on those things, because he knew the power of thought. He knew that thoughts are energy. Energy is vibration. And where you keep your energy, where your focus goes, your energy flows. And then whatever you put out will come back to you. And sometimes we think that you just think something terrible and just a thought. Every time you do that, you're putting out a certain vibration into the atmosphere. And as long as you keep putting it out, it will keep coming back. If you keep thinking, as Henry Ford says, if you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right. Because it's what you think. If you insist on thinking you can't, then you can't. And in the same way, if you insist on thinking you can, then you can. So you just have to put the focus. Your thoughts create your results. So the results that you want, think about them and let your energy flow in that direction. Good night, darling. The meaning of intuition on the spiritual level. Yes, intuition is God's still small voice speaking to us, guiding us along the way. And very often we know that when we dismiss it or we decide, nah, that is song, where that come from? How I come up with that? And we're not aware that it is God guiding us through that super sense that He gave us, intuition, which is the direct connection to infinite wisdom. So I'm glad that you have come to understand the meaning of intuition on the spiritual level. Yes, because it is a spiritual gift that God has given to us. Intuition, along with the others. And remember, you choose your life story either deliberately, if you do it consciously, knowingly, or by default, if you do it unconsciously, not knowing. You see, because whether you know it or not, you think. You're always thinking. And the thoughts that you think produce vibrations because they are energy. So if you know that, and you know that that vibration attracts like vibration, then you can deliberately decide how your results will be, how your life will go, because you know the kind of thoughts to think. If you don't know, you're not aware of the laws, then you think anything and anything comes because that's what you're thinking. It happens all the time. You see, the laws are there working, whether we know them or not. They're there and they work. So it's important for us to learn about them. Yes, my dear, the lessons have been an eye-opener. Thank you. My past must not be used as an excuse for the future. Definitely. Very nice. Yes. Congratulations to you. You brought back one of the lessons that you've learned. Yes. We know that our past would have had an effect on our present, but we must not use our past as an excuse for the future. That's one of the things we learned in one of the earlier lessons. Because now we can choose to think in particular ways that will make the difference. Yes? Yes. And we also know now that we can start thinking about our thoughts. So we don't just think the thoughts, we have to think about them. Because that way we can manage them. If we just go along thinking and not even studying what we're thinking, then they can go willy-nilly all over the place. But when we think about what we're thinking, yes, and when others can go to the internet, we can go to the infinite. Beautiful. Top of the class, top of the class, top of the class. Yes, yes. We have the infinite to go to, so that when people make a big thing about the internet, because you can Google and find all kinds of things. We can Google further than that by going to the infinite and find out much more than they can. It's there available for us because God made all the things put them in place so that we can have abundant life. Remember, He came that we can have more abundant life, which means that the abundant life is already there. So we just have to take it up. It's there for us. It's there and it's waiting, right? And we know that there are two things we learned. Fear is what? I'm not going to tell you. Somebody can tell me that. What is fear and what is faith? Let me see how many bright children are in this class. And don't mind me calling you children, the old teacher. Everybody is children once you're in class. So what is fear and what is faith? Let me see if anybody has the answer. I'm waiting. Huh? So fear is false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. And that's why we need not fear, because it's false evidence. It only looks real, but it's not. It appears real, but it's not. And we replace fear with faith. And faith is, let me see if anybody's getting it. Faith is finding answers in the heart. Finding answers in the heart. Yes. Moving into the unseen. Moving into the depths and the heights. Right? Making the connection with infinite wisdom. And remember, the heart, it's the thoughts of the heart that determine who you are. Yes? And of course, you know that you came to this life to make a difference. So you don't want to pass through and don't shift anything in your passing. You came to this life to make a difference. Your life has purpose. So don't just let it go by. Your life has purpose. You have greatness in you. And how do you know you have greatness in you? Because he who is within you is greater than he who is in the world. So you have greatness within you. He dwells within you. So don't let anybody tell you that you're worth nothing. You're worth a lot because you are God's creation, and God said he would dwell within you, that he would walk within you, right? So you have greatness in you. And we know that we've been brainwashed into all kinds of thoughts about ourselves that we should never have. Yes? But we are at the point where the information is coming to us to understand who we are spiritual beings. Spiritual beings, not human beings that are limited. Spiritual beings having a human experience. So when we know who we are, when we know what is our connection, and whatever we believe affects how we live, yes. Yes. Whatever we believe affects how we live. So don't play around with believing things that are not true and that are not positive and are not good for you. Because once you get to believing it, that's going to direct your life. So understand that, right? And I would have used this quotation at some point in time. The tragedy in life is not that we die, because we know we're going to die. We worked that out in the first lesson, right? That we start, and once we're born, we have to die. So the tragedy in life is not that we die, but what dies inside of us while we live. That's where the tragedy is. When we go back with our songs unsung, don't let what God gave you stay and just die within you. You are connected to infinite wisdom. Abundant life is calling you. Will you answer? And so, my dears, we've had our question and discussion time, and we're about to wrap up. And I certainly hope that you enjoyed this lesson as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. And that you are looking forward, as women of faith, to consider all the options to create lives that you love. And that you will practice the lessons that you've learned during the break until series 2 begins. So you want to remember, you want to review, you want to revise, you want to look at the videos again, you want to practice, you want to think, you want to focus, you want to dream. Don't forget that. You want to dream, and you want to grow so that you will achieve your purpose, so that your life will be full and fulfilled. And of course, it's going to be a little while before we get into series 2, right? Um, if you subscribe to the channel, you'll be first to get the updates and the notices, because I will put some updates and notices in the channel, even though we're not doing the Thursday night session, right? I will put some things in the channel for you, okay? So if you subscribe, you will know what's happening, and we're looking forward to meeting again. And I promise you, life love lessons are going to continue. The second series will have a slightly different flavor, but we are going to continue. So, as usual, let me remind you, love yourself. It's the only self you have. Love your life. It's the only life you know. Live abundantly. It's your birthright. Love God. It's your purpose for being here. And as usual, I say to you, dare to dream. The dreams you dare to dream really do come true. So, dare to dream. And I thank you. God bless you. I wish you sweet dreams. And I've put my channel there, my service there, my phone number there, so that you can get in touch with me if you need to. Until we meet again in Love Life Lessons Series 2. God bless you. Have a wonderful night.